Today, fire stations across San Luis Obispo County held their annual burn relay, where the departments host burn prevention and education presentations at local schools ranging from San Miguel to 5 cities. At the end of today's event, local fire agencies presented the Elisa Ann Roosh Burn Foundation with a check of $15,000 at the downtown San Luis Obispo Farmers Market.
This means a great deal. It's beyond, I can't thank the fire departments enough. I can't thank the community support enough for everything that they do for us. It doesn't just mean a lot to me. It means a lot to all of the campers that we serve, all of the adult retreat survivors that we serve.
The check will go toward helping survivors of burn injuries.
Definitely a great thing that people head out to. And we've got some good weather on the way here on the Central Coast, but things are about to change because we have rain on the way. Now, that's not here quite yet. We're still seeing some pretty good conditions all across the Central Coast. No major issues as we go through the next couple of days. But then we're going to be seeing another big change headed to the Central Coast. And that's actually where I want to start because we've got kind of copy-paste weather over the next few days. So starting off with what we've got going on right now. We've got this big ridge of high pressure, not a whole lot going on. Wind still turning onshore. That's likely to bring us some cooler weather in the overnight hours. We're talking temperatures in the 40s, actually the coolest it's been basically since April across portions of the Central Coast. Then a low pressure that is brewing up there is headed our way. And as that gets here, we're going to see some pretty big changes on the Central Coast. We do have a nice clear weekend ahead of us. Not going to be changing anything just yet, but that little low pressure you saw move onshore, it's actually going to prep our atmosphere for those bigger changes. That's when it's going to start seeing those bigger changes, including rain here on the Central Coast. By Tuesday of next week, this large-scale system is headed to the Central Coast, and it's likely to bring a lot of rain. Now, we're still quite a ways out from the actual core of the storm getting here, so the models are still seeing some tricky conditions with trying to actually forecast this, but we're looking at some significant winds, significant rains. We're talking the potential for inches of rain from the system Tuesday, Wednesday, and even into Thursday as that secondary portion of the system starts to move onshore. So tons of things going on in our forecast, including the chance for some significant snow in the Sierras. I'll have full details on the storm system and a little bit of a closer look at your forecast over the next few days coming up in just a few minutes.
A post on Instagram revealed that First and Oak, a restaurant in Solvang, is closing its doors after a decade in business. According to Ivan Cornell, the executive chef at First and Oak, the owners want to put their focus in their winery in Solvang. Following the closure, Mirabelle Inn, the hotel that shared the space with the restaurant, will continue to use the space for guest purposes.
Miss the team, the community, being able to walk down to a local farmers market whenever I felt like it. And overall, been with this business for over 10 years and couldn't ask for another one, you know?
According to the Post, the restaurant's final day in business is on Sunday, October 19th. Coming up, find out how Cal Poly SLO and Cal Poly Pomona are preparing their Rose Float for the annual Rose Float Parade in Pasadena. The story and more.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and doctors are stressing the importance of early detection. I'm community reporter Carson Wells. Coming up, more on where you can get tested for free.
We're watching KSBY, part of the Scripps News Group.
In an effort to bring attention during Breast Cancer Awareness Month, a local medical center is offering free mammograms.
October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and doctors are stressing the importance of early detection. I'm community reporter Carson Wells here at the Hearst Cancer Resource Center in French Hospital in San Luis Obispo, where they're offering free breast cancer screening tests. Between 2017 and 2021, there were 1,375 reported breast cancer cases in San Luis Obispo County. And in Santa Barbara County, there were 1,806 cases, according to California Health Maps.
In the United States, 1 out of every 8 women will face a diagnosis of invasive breast cancer throughout her lifetime. And from 1989, there's been a 44% decrease in the breast cancer death rate, and that is largely due to advances in breast cancer treatment and also advances in early screening. If a cancer is diagnosed at very early stage, there's a 99% cure rate.
She tells me that's why the Hearst Cancer Resource Center offers free screening clinics once a month, and why for the next few weeks they're holding even more.
Our mammogram clinics are available for community members that are either uninsured or underinsured and unable to pay their share of cost for mammograms. We would never want cost to be a barrier for them in receiving this important screening.
She adds that for most women, they should begin getting mammograms at 40 years old. And if you're interested in participating in the free clinics over the next few weeks, to call the number on your screen. Currently, there are still spots available for their October 22nd clinic and their November 19th clinic. If you have something you want me to look into, just call, email, or scan the QR code on your screen. In San Luis Obispo, Carson Wells, KSBY News.
Fall is here, which also means RSV and flu season. I'm your community reporter, Valentina Saldaña, and I looked into what professionals recommend you do to stay healthy this year. San Luis Obispo County Deputy Health Officer Rick Rosen tells me that this is the time to start thinking of respiratory viral vaccines.
Generally, it's a good idea to get vaccinated in the months of October and November to protect against those infections that come up in December and January.
One mom tells me what she does during RSV season to keep her little ones healthy.
So some things that I do to keep them healthy is after we've been out, we always come inside and wash our hands. It's something that they both know that we always do. We like to wash our hands before we eat, before we touch all of our toys, things like that. So we just try to keep our hands clean in that area.
Rosen says there has been a significant decrease in children being hospitalized due to respiratory illnesses in California since the introduction of the RSV vaccine. One local nanny tells me that she regularly takes her kids to gymnastics, the library, and the park, but if they're feeling under the weather, she takes precautions.
If your kid is sick, let's stay indoor at your house, so that way we don't spread the virus around. But if your kid is healthy, then we just have to be careful when we go out.
The public health department, along with local pharmacies and individual providers, can provide these shots to help prevent illnesses this season, but it is always best to check in with the provider, especially for kids under the age of 3. Rosen told me what the goal is from a public health standpoint.
What we really hope to achieve is to limit the burden on our hospitals, because we don't have unlimited capacity in our hospitals.
I'll have a list of where you can find health resources in San Luis Obispo County in my story on our website, ksby.com. In San Luis Obispo, Valentina Saldaña, KSBY News.
Today, local Cal Poly students loaded and sent off half of the 2026 Tournament of Roses float to the Pomona campus in preparation for the annual Tournament of Roses parade in Pasadena. The float theme is Jungle Jumpstart. They say it showcases the dynamics between nature and technology. Cal Poly Pomona traditionally builds the front half of the float, while students in San Luis Obispo build the back. Cal Poly San Luis Obispo's Rose Float team is now traveling to Pomona to work on the float.
The Cal Poly Rose Float is completely built and run by students. We do everything from creating merchandise, choosing the designs, creating the story, building the float, and decorating the float, and driving the float. It's something that we're really proud of doing and engaging our community with. Designing and building the float is a year-long process. Between Christmas and New Year's Eve, students and volunteers will work to cover every inch of the float with flowers and other material before the entry is unveiled to hundreds of thousands of people.
And watching that float be unveiled is always such a great point of pride for us here on the Central Coast. And we've got some good weather as well. I think that's also a pretty good point of pride. And over the next few days, we've got great weather. Checking outside a little bit earlier today out there in Pismo Beach, you can see just how perfect it was out there. Kind of looking like a postcard with all the people enjoying the sunset from the pier and lots of surfers out there catching the last few waves of the day. Things were looking really good today. Relatively warm along those beaches, cooler than normal, but still comfortable in the interiors. Kind of a Goldilocks day here on the Central Coast. Here's a look at the high temperatures we got to. 77 in California Valley, Shandon, and Paso Robles. 67 up in Cambria, 76 in Santa Maria, 73 in Santa Barbara. Comfortable across the region. Now we're seeing temperatures start to fall a little bit. Right now in the 50s. We're likely to get into the 40s for some of our communities overnight. That's kind of the only thing you may notice over the next couple days is cooler overnight lows. Now, these lows right now pretty typical, but by the early morning, while our daybreak show is on, is actually when we're going to be getting into the 40s, some of the coolest temperatures we've seen since last spring. So definitely heading into the winter months, feeling the cooler conditions, but still very comfortable. Here's a quick look at your Friday forecast. 76 in Paso Robles, Santa Maria, and Lompoc. 78 in San Luis Obispo, 81 in Santa Barbara, a little bit warmer there. Cambria at 68, 74 74 in San Miguel, 75 degrees in Avila Beach. For our 5 cities communities in the 70s, 70 degrees in Pismo Beach, 76 in Arroyo Grande, 75 up in Shandon, and along our south coast, things are going to be looking good. 84 in San Ynez, 79 in Goleta, 77 degrees in the Coyama Valley. Then as we head into the weekend, things will